I attempted to record this video a few times and I stopped because I got emotional. So I'm going to try this time not to get emotional. This is regarding Nireah Harris case. I've been down the rabbit hole on this case and I've had a couple of people ask me to post my opinion about what happened. So the only way I know how to post my opinion is to be transparent. And I'm going to liken this story. I'm going to tell you how Nireah Harris' story it correlates with my family and the collective family in this country. Black, Latino, white, it don't matter. I'm finna tell you how this shit correlates. And hell, it might even be globally, not even just not collective in this country. It might just be globally, but y'all tell me in the comments. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Nireah Harris case, she's a 13-year-old girl who's missing yet presumed dead, who became pregnant by her auntie's 41, 42 some odd year old boyfriend. Auntie's boyfriend is a registered sex offender. Registered to the point where he did 10 years in custody sex offender. Sex offender to the capacity where he gave up his 4-year-old biological daughter chlamydia. This dude has violated children and is just diabolical with his filth by looking at kids and seeing little girls as sex objects. The whole family knew that. They knew he was in custody for 10 years. It wasn't like it was a secret. Everybody knew. They still allowed him access to the children in his life, in the neighborhood, and in the room. Okay? That's the story. They're going through the preliminary hearings right now. And when they read those text messages that grown-ass man was sending to that little-ass girl and her response to him, it made my stomach turn and it pissed me off, okay? But let me liken that to my family, because I told you guys I'm going to tell the story and I'm going to liken it and tell you I have every family, and you guys can agree or disagree, has sex offense in it. I have a family pedophile, and I don't give a damn who like it or who don't. That I expose his name every single time I mention this. Clarence Lampkin Jr. out of Texarkana, Arkansas is my family's pedophile. This dude has been in custody several times for being a registered SO. He has violated children in our family and in the neighborhood. He has violated so many people and got caught 2 or 3 times and went into custody, but that's probably don't even scratch the surface of what this diabolical monster has done when it comes to children. But guess what? When he get out of custody, he's invited to every cookout. He's invited to every party. He's invited to every family gathering, family reunion, etc. He's invited. When I found out about this, I knew, I just asked the question, we're having a family gathering. Is the family pedophile going to be there? And if so, who going to be responsible for watching over him? Who's going to be responsible for making sure he don't violate no more kids in our family? I was blocked. I was disinvited, and I was accused of starting drama and shit because I said that. Yeah, me. So we got together for a family gathering, and guess who shows the fuck up? Well, I was in person then. Not like I heard about it was going to happen. I was actually in person, and I went smooth ape shit. Like, why the fuck is he here? Do you know that I had so much pushback from my mama, my stepdad, all my mama's siblings? Every last one has something to say about me making a stink because this motherfucker here at a family gathering chock full of children, beautiful kids, DNA related to me and everybody in the room, and nobody had a problem with this pedophile walking through. He even went up to one of my babies. She's 16 or 15 or something, and said, "Ooh, how old are you?" When she told me that, I lost it and I went off. And it was at the point where I was making such a big deal because I'm the loudest voice in the room that a couple other people was just like, "No, she's not going to let it go. Just leave, just leave." And he had the audacity to be pissed off. Now, let me liken these two together so I can break it down to y'all. This is what's happening in my family. Collectively, if a black girl, or it could be any girl, is violated, in order for her to come forth and tell, you guys have to foster a environment to make the kid feel comfortable to come and tell. Because if you don't make her feel comfortable and you don't let her know that she's going to be believed and supported, she's not going to say shit. She's going to be hypersexualized and she's going to normalize this shit. And then the pedophile wins because he has yet another victim or access to more kids. People are sitting up here saying that that girl should have said something, but nobody's saying that she never was in a safe environment to do so. Now, let me liken that to me. I was violated. I never said shit. Because when I was violated, I overheard the adults in my life, my aunties, my mama, my parents, vilify people who were violated. And let me break that down further. Let me fucking clarify that shit. When that tape came out with R. Kelly violating that little girl and urinating on her, and the fact that collectively we still bumped his music, nobody held him accountable, and people vilified the victim by calling her fast. I have sat in church services where girls were older women would sit up and say, the Holy Spirit is telling me that you fast. The Holy Spirit can tell you that, but not tell you that this little girl is being violated by a member of her family. They can tell you that. They violated this little girl and not allowed, no adult around her gave a fuck enough to give a fuck enough to do something to stop it, which is the perfect recipe for that sick son of a bitch to continue. Her grandmother failed her. Her aunties failed her. Everybody fucking failed her. And it wasn't just her. Everybody's putting a spotlight on her. But what about all the other children that this fool had access to? All the grandmother's children, all the aunties' children, his own biological children. No child was safe around him. His biological 4-year-old got chlamydia from him. He did time in custody. And they still brought this fool around. This same thing can easily happen in my family. And we have a lot of little kids in our family, in my family. And the fact that my family gives me so much pushback because I have an issue with this fucking pervert being around the kids, but they don't have no smoke for him. This shit goes on in the black church. I can't speak about the Muslim masjid, but I know it go on there too. And it goes on in the Catholic Church. It goes on in the Latin American community. It goes on in the rich white communities. It goes on. And the reason why we're all collectively responsible, because people don't have a fucking balls enough to confront these pedophiles. They don't. They got all the smoke in the world for everything else. Don't let you come out the closet being gay and you from the South. Your family gonna really fucking fuck you up about that. They'll cut you the fuck off. But if you go into custody for giving a 4-year-old chlamydia and you get out, you get fucking king treatment. That little girl was failed. Just like many other little girls. And when I was violated, I didn't come forward until I was in my 30s. And you know what happened? My mother's knee-jerk reaction was to call me a liar. And she still stands on that business to this day, telling me I made it up, to the point where we don't even have a relationship anymore. I have completely excommunicated myself out of her life. We are no contact. Because she was the biggest cheerleader for that motherfucker. And to this day, as I live and breathe and record this video to y'all, if my family was to have a family gathering, he would be invited and I wouldn't. And that's okay with me, but it isn't. Because who's going to watch out for those children? Who's going to ring the alarm? He's not even a stipulation of his probation. Look up the fucking name, Clarence Lampkin Jr. He's not even allowed to be around kids, but he got a safe space in my family. So if he violates one of the kids and murders them, whose fault is it? This is going to keep continuing until people stand up and realize that unsafe men and women around children should not be allowed around children. They should be treated like a fucking pariah in the family, but nobody does it. Nobody does it. It's a specific generation of women. And I'm speaking about black women because I'm a black woman. And it's my mama and her age, like that generation, that has no sympathy for little black girls who are violated. None. They victim blame. They are fucking Olympians at victim blaming kids. Calling 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 12 and 13-year-old girls fast. And they believe that pedophiles deserve forgiveness. And that's exactly what a pedophile wants, so they can have further access to their children, because they have the highest recidivism rate. Meaning They reoffend more than any other population. I've seen reformed drug addicts. I've seen reformed dope dealers, but I have yet to meet a reformed pedophile. Once they violate kids, they keep doing it, and they keep doing it, and they keep doing it. And it's the stupid ass fuckers around them that allow them access to the kids. And my family is no different. Nireah Harris could have been saved if she had one adult, just one adult that gave a fuck enough about her to say something and recognize and be observant. Hell, you don't even have to have half a brain if you know this motherfucker gave a 4-year-old chlamydia not to allow him around the children. But nope, people like to sweep shit under the rug, go along to get along. And these people are my enemies because I am a sworn child protector. Period. I have to be what I needed when I was coming up because I didn't have nobody to protect me or look out. My parents never fostered an environment of safety for me to tell anything because I overheard the conversations about other girls who had been violated and molested. I overheard the conversations about how the girls might have wanted it and all this bullshit. I overheard the conversations and them still supporting certain people outside of my family's pedophile, but just I seen and I knew that if I had said something, nobody would believe me and I would have been punished for even opening my mouth. Therefore, I said nothing. And when I finally did, it was exactly what I thought. So, and that shit fucking hurt. Now imagine a 14-year-old girl or a 12-year-old girl, 11-year-old girl, boy, whatever, dealing with that shit at their mental and brain and cognitive capacity. Yeah. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. And the thing that baffles me the most, and I'm sorry this video is so long, is the willful ignorance of the adults in that family. They were willfully fucking ignorant. And you couple that with allowing a pedophile access, free range around the children, willful ignorance, and you guys knew this motherfucker was a dirt ball when it comes to kids. You knew he was unsafe. And then y'all turned a blind eye. I wish, and at this point when this video is being recorded, they're charging him for murder. It's a circumstantial case, even though there's no body. But I just wish this little girl was alive so she can come and tell her story. But sadly, I don't think it'll do no good because the cognitive dissonance for protecting girls is so deep in our community that I don't even know what could fix it. I don't know. We're just so disvalued. Girls are just so disvalued that it don't matter. Even when you have a registered motherfucker, she's still not going to be protected. She's still not going to be believed. Just like in my family. So if you guys hear about a Nireah Harris happening and a dead body and a child being raped, in my family, you already know who did it. And you already know who enabled them to do it. And that's all the adults, my mama and her siblings and older cousins and shit who support this fool, who ha-ha and kiki with him, and who text him and invite him to every fucking family gathering. Doing good and goddamn well their children there. My name is Tiff. Auntie, African witch bitch, AWB, whatever you want to call me. But none of that matters. What matters is I'm a child protector to my core. And I don't have a problem giving a bullet or taking one to protect a kid. And I said what I said, and I don't give a fuck who get mad. Oh, one more thing. Just to let you know how diabolical my family pedophile was. A few years ago, he tried to forcibly rape a 13-year-old in my family. The little girl was crying and screaming, trying to fight him off. And his sisters, you want me to tell you their names? Why the fuck not? Jackie and Sherry Lampkin in Texarkana pulled him off the little girl before he was able to penetrate her. And do you know this fool, like a month later, went out and forcibly penetrated a 14-year-old? Outside of the family. Nobody called the police. He's still invited. Nobody called the police. They said they were just going to pray about it. Nobody called the police. That 14-year-old girl he went and violated could have been protected if somebody had did something. Nobody did anything. And I didn't find out till years later. So yeah, that's how sick this fuck is, and they still invite him around. And you know what their biggest thing they say? Well, he paid his debt to society. Pedophiles don't get to pay a debt because they reoffend too much. So them going into custody and getting out don't mean a goddamn thing. Look at Calvin Butts. His ass went in for 10 years for, again, giving a 4-year-old chlamydia. He got out and fucking re-raped again and they never stop. They never do. This is why there needs to be a death sentence. Period. I'll talk to y'all later. Ashe.